we can't rule out the possibility that this somehow involved higher powers in the power structure of Hollywood and the power structure of the whole system, the whole New World Order system itself. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with the people that run this planet, they like to encode messages, both in terms of symbolism and something called predictive programming, in which they, like to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. And it's sort of a form of subconscious mind control. And it's also, it delves into the spiritual realm, so it's sort of a lesser magic type of philosophy, because they also think if they show you what they're doing, it sort of gives them the right to do it. And also it gives them sort of a moral high ground in which they are above the population. They are above us because we're just so stupid. They throw it in our face, and they can still get away with it. So those are just some of the different mechanisms and philosophies at play here when dealing with this type of information. Now, in regards to the death of Robin Williams, the first piece of information I want to get into here seems to suggest blatant predictive programming, and it's out of the IGN forum, and it was posted on August 8th, 2014, and it's titled, "Are People Bracing Themselves for the Fact That Robin Williams Will Die Soon?" Okay? Now, this is a popular forum, and it's just unbelievable. I mean, this was posted just a couple days before he allegedly killed himself, and I'll leave you a link in the description so you can check it out for yourself. All these different people talking about it. Right there in your face, blatant. And here's the real juicy stuff, okay? The real kicker, okay? The BBC actually aired a Robin Williams Family Guy episode in which Robin Williams starred in the episode, and it was all about Peter Griffin, and he actually tries to kill himself in this episode, just like Robin Williams did in real life. And throughout this episode, everything Peter goes around touching turns into Robin Williams. So you can see a bunch of clone copies of Robin Williams down here. It's just very strange. And, yeah, it's a freakishly weird coincidence, am I right? And this literally aired, and as it ended, okay, right a few minutes after it ended on the BBC, this broke that in the real world, it broke that Robin Williams killed himself right after this episode ended. Okay, now as many of you know, the BBC is one of the main propaganda hubs for the New World Order, and you can check out this article out of Yahoo, which breaks it down. And the funny thing is, this episode was actually supposed to air 2 weeks earlier, and they decided to, why not? We'll air it, on August 11th, the same day that Robin Williams kills himself. So I mean, I don't know. It's just beyond coincidence, am I right? And Family Guy has been known to incorporate predictive programming in their television shows. We have the Family Guy episode with the Boston Marathon bombing, right? Just a few weeks before it actually happened. The actual predictive programming in which, Peter clicks his cell phone twice, and then 2 explosions go off outside the bar during the Boston Marathon in the episode. So, okay, this aired March 17th, and of course, the Boston Marathon bombing occurred on April 15th. We also have the fact that Family Guy aired an episode in which Brian, the dog there, the character in Family Guy, gets run over and killed, and is involved in a car accident, and they kill off that main character for good. Okay, that's a big episode. And this aired on the same exact day that Paul Walker, famous actor, died in a car accident, right? I mean, come on. And there's other examples of this as well. I'm just giving you a little tidbit of what Family Guy has offered to poison the subconscious of humanity with, okay? The collective subconscious. I'm just giving you a little sample, Okay, you can just look it all up, all right? Family Guy, predictive programming.
Paul Joseph Watson's video. And here's a video that I think you should check out because it's quite something. Weird coincidence. Robin Williams' Family Guy suicide episode airs before his death, but of course Paul Joseph Watson doesn't think it's anything. He goes into Carl Jung or something and some sort of philosophical thing about fucking bullshit about how the death, there's some sort of mass consciousness out there and that's how these coincidences happen and all this crap. No, it's not like they planned it or it's part of their whole way they code these things. No, it had nothing to do with that. And if you believe that, well, you better listen into Paul Joseph Watson, who works for Infowars. Yeah, I'm sure most people know that. But let's just listen to how he describes it here. And Mr. Watson, don't even think about trying to nail me for copyright because this is 100% non-profit.
So, of course, as we unfortunately are all too aware of, whenever somebody in Hollywood dies, the lunatics immediately come out of the woodwork and make YouTube videos about how it was an Illuminati sacrifice. That.
Right? Did you catch that? The lunatics. The lunatics. So if you look into this stuff and you think there's something occult with it, Paul Joseph Watson, who works for Infowars, there's his photo right there. This guy thinks that you're a fucking lunatic. So maybe you should go to Paul Watson's video and give him a piece of your mind, because this type of programming is what we're used to, Mr. Watson, with the corporate media. I could give you dozens of examples of Cenk Uygur alone using that term to totally, discredit those of us who did all the research on Sandy Hook, an event that you guys wouldn't touch with a 10-foot fucking pole, nor the Boston bombing, which has the total link to the Family Guy. Once again, Seth MacFarlane, this guy who is definitely on the inside, this guy that definitely knows what's going on, and this guy that is 100% coding these things into his fucking shows. And if you want to be an idiot like Paul Joseph Watson, you can pretend that it's some sort of philosophical, mass consciousness thing that's creating these things. Or maybe you could believe that these coincidences don't add up. What's the quote from the Batman movie? You're a detective now. You're not allowed, or you're not supposed to believe in coincidences anymore. And they actually said that quote twice in that Dark Knight movie. I think it was The Dark Knight Rises. I can't remember the last one that it was. Okay. Well, let's continue on here, because then last night I came across this video by Mark Dice. Now, Mark Dice, in case you're confused, works for Infowars. In fact, he just appeared on Infowars a couple days ago. Go figure, right? And Mark Dice came out with this video so quickly. It was the first video that came up, and look, already 147,000 views, in which he says, Robin Williams murdered by Illuminati as celebrity sacrifice according to conspiracy theorists, even though he did not give one example in this video, not one. The fact that Infowars has characters like this constantly springing up on their channel has to make you wonder. It has to really make you wonder what the fuck these people and what the fuck they're up to, because this is beyond coincidence for me. It really is, and I really have to question right now what's going on. I have to question what's going on with these types of people here.
It's important to remember that when you're in this line of work, in this field of conspiracy and the New World Order and exposing the New World Order, and you're a researcher, investigator, or even a detective for that matter, right? The word coincidence should not even be in your vocabulary. Just like Jeff C. mentioned, and I always reference this, but just like Commissioner Gordon says in The Dark Knight, you're not allowed to believe in coincidences anymore, right? And that is the truest quote probably ever in Hollywood. And experienced people in this field and world know this. They know this. All right? Yet these clowns such as Paul Joseph Watson put videos here like weird coincidence in the title. Bullshit. Okay? Let's look at some comments from Mr. Watson's video here. First one here is by Betsy McGee, and Betsy previously believed that Infowars has been genuine and on our side up until this point, but in light of this situation, on what's happening here, she is seeing the light, right, so to speak, and so many more and so many others are as well, and so that's great to see, and that's why this needs to be exposed. All right, so how many times, she says, is this going to happen on Family Guy, and people are just going to marvel at the amazing coincidence and the synchronicity of the damn universe? Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action. Ian Fleming. That's a great comment. Great comment. Here's another comment. Why not say it is a conspiracy? Why are those people crazy? You are crazy if you believe in all this weird coincidence. So stupid and childish to mention that, because a lot of things that were thought of as conspiracy later turned out true. Even if it's an old episode, how come they play it on the same date? Coincidence is not an intelligent explanation, because the odds are too little if they are sitting on this episode since 2009 or something. Yep. What are the chances to air that episode on the same day? Yep. Every intelligent person would know the chances are 0 to none. So then it's not weird coincidence, but decided by someone who already knew. That sounds a lot more logical. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. TV media has been used for this purpose and to shape our minds, to shape world events. If you're not familiar with this concept and this, sorcery, pretty much, I'll leave a link below. I made a video a while back called "Why the Illuminati Hide in Plain Sight," and that explains briefly how the media is used on our subconscious mind to manipulate us and also to shape their desired realities. Okay. Because this is all about the world of manifestation, the spiritual realm. That's how they use the media. That's why they do what they do with regards to the media. Okay. Now, case in point, The Simpsons and similar shows like Family Guy and American Dad, all these shows, but The Simpsons and Family Guy being 2 of the most heavily occult connected TV shows, 2 of the most occult TV shows out there. Not surprising, because these are 2 of the most popular, right? Each show watched by millions and millions and millions. So, of course, these shows are going to be utilized to program and incorporate their symbolism, right?
So, like most good conspiracies, we will probably never find the actual truth about Robin Williams' death. But what I'm about to show you proves that there's much more to the story than what meets the eye. So the official story says that Robin Williams hung himself with a belt on his door in the bedroom. I first want to cover some basic scientific facts. So the assistant found Robin Williams clothed, hanging against a closet door with a belt secured around his neck, and the other end of the belt wedged between the door and the door frame. So the typical door is about 78 to 80 inches high and about 36 to 38 inches where the doorknob level is. And keep in mind that Robin Williams stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. So Robin Williams is about average height, 5'7", and his waist would be roughly 30 inches, maybe 32 inches, which is not even 3 feet. It's not even 36 inches. And when you tie the belt around your neck, you only have a little bit of the length of the belt left. I'm a 34, 35, but I have a 36-inch belt. And I tried to wrap it around my neck and tried to see if it would reach the top of the door jamb. And my belt would be longer than his, and it wouldn't work. The belt is just simply not long enough to hang yourself and then have it draped over between the door and the archway or the jamb of the door. But they reported that he was found sitting down in the seated position with the belt around his neck. So they want us to believe that he used a belt to kill himself and hang himself. And it's physically and scientifically impossible. And the other option would be the doorknob, which has been used before for suicides. But it really seems unlikely to me. And of course, they didn't find him attached to the door. He was in a seated position, so if the door knob is only 36 inches high, there's no room for hanging, really. But they said that the belt was wrapped around his neck, and the other side was in the door jamb of the doorway, and he was in the seated position, which we all know now is scientifically impossible. So check this out. This is really eerie, actually. Robin Williams in 2009 was in a film called The World's Greatest Dad.
I'm back. Hey, Carla. Oh, Carla.
Another great spell casting from the wizards from Hollywood. So yes, they do like to throw it in our faces. A willing sacrifice must have the opportunity to have the wisdom. But will the fool take it?
Yeah. It's all my peoples in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby. Shake it. It was all a dream. Time to get paid, blow up like the World Trade.
Now we're going to watch it again, but catch this. This is kind of eerie. Robin Williams, and we're talking about suicide, then he immediately turns into the door. Are you freaking kidding me? The exact position that he's found in? I mean, look at him. It looks like he's hanging there on the door. It's just like The World's Greatest Dad. The coincidence of the closet and the hanging. But you see what this scene is really saying, and the whole theme here is that the suicide is a forgery. It is a fake. It's not real. So the truth is that it's all planned and orchestrated and made to look like a suicide.
This was a repeat that we've shown a couple of times before, so who could have planned it? It was scheduled more than 2 weeks ago, so it is just an uncanny coincidence. Some of our people who work here noticed that the death of Robin Williams was announced just as this episode ended. And again, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory. No, the people who say that are silly lunatics.
Let's go ahead and just go through some of this in popular culture. You've seen the Beavis and Butthead from 1994. But Darren McBreen has put together a bunch of these. There is Homer Simpson in 97 with the 9 next to the 2 towers. There's Sesame Street with Cookie Monster attacking both of them. That's in 76. There's planes flying through the buildings with Wonder Woman concerned. That came out 4 or 5 months before 9/11, that particular album cover by Coup. And we've got a bunch of other. Oh, this was produced by the Illuminati company, the Illuminati card deck that's based in Austin, Texas. Mr. Jackson that heads it up.
No, the people who say that are silly lunatics. Silly lunatics. Silly lunatics. Silly lunatics.
All-seeing eyes, pyramids, worshipping the dark priest as the Christians all bow down to Satan. He's going to bring us world peace. So all in all, truly, truly bizarre and perfectly illustrative of how the modern-day Babylon system is the corporate entertainment system itself, and another outstanding reason why you should avoid it at all costs.
No, the people who say that are silly lunatics.
This guy is such a hypocrite that he first laughs at the conspiracy theorists,
and then he becomes one.
Madonna was going to be performing the Super Bowl halftime ritual. I immediately suspected it was going to be filled with Illuminati symbolism, so halftime ritual. I immediately suspected it was going to be filled with Illuminati symbolism, so I set my DVR. Of course, the Illuminati loves ancient Egypt. Then, not only is Madonna dancing around the stage with her Baphomet satanic horns headgear, and she's standing in the middle of a sun symbol with a cross.
So now this wannabe is a conspiracy theorist. So what your dumbass is saying is that it's okay to get clues from halftime performances, but not from cartoons?
Conspiracy crossword puzzle playing kooks see this as a secret clue that the Illuminati encoded. They actually believe that the Illuminati somehow was able to get a hold of the producers of...
So Mark, you're saying that the Illuminati cannot get a hold of Family Guy producers, and it's ridiculous, but they can get a hold of football producers, and that makes perfect sense.
Of course, the people who believe this are looking for clues in cartoons about the activities of the Illuminati, which goes to speak about their mental capacity.
Well, I guess now we know your mental capacity.
Misinterpreted by the conspiracy community, who they see the headline and they think that Robin Williams' character tried to kill himself in the cartoon. No, it was Peter Griffin, the head character. Robin Williams' character that supposedly attempted suicide in the episode, it was actually the show's featured character, Peter. But of course they hear the two words together and they just link it up. And
they just link it up? How about you try adding it up, which is suicide plus Robin Williams. So is this making it up, Mark? Is this linking things that aren't related? The suicide gun, which equals Robin Williams?
He done schooled your ass, homie.
And to top it off, in the Family Guy, they show the cut wrists. And of course, Robin Williams was also reported to have the cut wrists.
You just got schooled again, homie.
The conspiracy crossword puzzle playing kooks see this as a secret clue that the Illuminati encoded. Then you have Infowars, the biggest conspiracy crackpot Kool-Aid factory over there, put out this article that said that the Sandy Hook father he said, "Do you want me to read the card?" And then Alex Jones gives him a statement. "My deepest condolences go out to Mr. Parker." Oh yeah, thank you, Alex Jones, you ambulance chasing psycho.
They're adopting it as an archetype or as an image, where almost every Super Bowl or almost every Grammy or Emmy, there's big pyramids, women as witches, fire shooting out, ritualized sex magic. Why is the elite showing this now? Why are they pushing this now? Why are they promoting this now? Well, it's because they're trying to bring their great work in. I remember on the year 2000, they were going to cap the pyramid at Giza, and then they said this elite group on PBS, they reported, had decided the great work was not done yet and they weren't going to cap it. Well, what is that great work? Mark Dice has written a whole bunch of best-selling books on it. He's got a new book coming out. He's done a lot of research on the Illuminati. They're just flaunting this. Oh, you people think there's an Illuminati. Well, we want to join it. So it exists, but it doesn't exist, and we're discredited, and Weird Al Yankovic comes out and makes fun of us. As it's all in our face, This is an attempt, I think, to roll out the next level of this. Mark Dice of markdice.com. Thanks for coming on with us.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Alex Jones, you ambulance-chasing psycho. The conspiracy crossword puzzle playing kooks see this as a secret clue that the Illuminati encoded.
And again, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory. No, the people who say that are silly lunatics. Silly lunatics.